pass to Garrett Wilson. Touchdown! What a throw! Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson. J-E-T-S-S-S-S. Let's get it! Wow! Jet Life Stadium. Aaron Rodgers is home, baby. Jets media, I love you all. Break off! It's gone! Ready to take flight with the Jets, baby. Let's go! What is going on, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie. We got a mock draft to talk about, a hypothetical scenario that I honestly didn't even think about at all. Okay, and Daniel Jeremiah is a guy who comes out with mock drafts all the time, and this is hypothetical. Before anybody thinks this is breaking news or anything, this is not breaking news. This is Jets trade up for Marvin Harrison Jr. in Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, okay? This is a mock draft. The Jets did not trade up. I already see people confused. This is not the case at all. Water bottle just fell on the floor. Now, listen, this is a hypothetical. Now, the reason why I wanted to go live and talk about this is because can we actually think about this as a hypothetical, a real scenario? As you see, the projected trade is with the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay, this is a hypothetical trade of the New York Jets going up to the 5th pick and snagging the best wide receiver in the NFL draft, Marvin Harrison Jr. That would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous, right? Right now, we don't have a wide receiver added to this team in the offseason yet. Mike Williams is currently in the Jets facility. He had a great breakfast from our guy, NYJ Matt, on Twitter, sending him a breakfast, which was absolutely fantastic. Shout out to NYJ Matt. That was hilarious. Love that. Now, the hypothetical scenario of the Jets doing this, if you want to know what the trade compensation is, the Jets would have to sacrifice, in this hypothetical scenario, a second-round pick in next year's draft. I would do that. Now, I don't know if this is realistic, but this is a guy in Daniel Jeremiah who I definitely value his opinion, and he did choose chaos in here. Now, we're going to play the clip of Daniel Jeremiah explaining his rationale about this trade up potentially for Marvin Harrison Jr. And I just want to say one last time, because I see a lot of people thinking this is a guarantee and the Jets traded up. They did not trade up. This is not breaking news. This is pure hypothetical. We're reacting to the Jets trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr. mock draft by Daniel Jeremiah. So let's listen to what he had to say.
This will anger Charger fans. I call the games. I understand what they want. I appreciate what they want. And I could even say I want the same thing. I would love for them to be sitting here with the 5th pick. The top 4 picks are all quarterbacks. You've got your choice of wideouts to replace Keenan Allen and Mike Williams that have just left. You could sit right here and take Marvin Harrison Jr., and you've got a number 1 dude, and I can get on board with that. However, I look at how Jim Harbaugh thinks and how he believes in building a football team, and you build the foundation before you build anything else. And all we've heard from Greg Roman getting hired, from Jim Harbaugh's press conference, from Joe Ortiz's comments, we are going to protect Justin Herbert, and we are going to run the football much better than it's been run here. So with that being said, you see a couple wideouts go out the door. I look at this draft as very deep at wide receiver. So I think they could be saying, man, we would love to have Marvin Harrison Jr. here, but there are a lot of wideouts in this draft, and we are going to build the foundation first. And the phone just rang, and it's Joe Ortiz, one of his best friends, and Joe Douglas from the New York Jets, worked together for 20 years. And he's all in. Joe Douglas has signed 33-year-old Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, older tackle on the other side. They went out and got John Simpson to play guard. Now, you can say maybe this is a house of cards with the age of these offensive linemen, but this is a 40-year-old quarterback. They are all in to win one in the next 2 years. So why not be bold? And do you think that they would have any issues parting with next year's second-round pick, which would be the cost? So you go from 10 to 5 as the Jets. You trade next year's second-round pick. They don't have a second-round pick this year because that was Rodgers' deal. And the Jets go up and they pair their wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, with his former teammate and Marvin Harrison Jr. with the 5th pick.
Okay, we don't have sound effects on the pod, but that would be like fireworks, everything going off.
Well, you heard it from Daniel Jeremiah. Obviously, it's a hypothetical scenario, but man, would that be absolutely ridiculous. Now, people are wondering, how is Marvin Harrison Jr. even available at number 5? Well, let's break down his full mock draft. If you guys want to check it out for yourself, go down below in the description. You guys can check out the link yourselves. But here is the full mock draft that Daniel Jeremiah came out with today. Okay, he's got Caleb Williams going number 1, Drake May number 2, Jaden Daniels number 3, and he had a projected trade at number 4 as well, that the Vikings trade all the way up with the Cardinals to land J.J. McCarthy. So that leaves 4 quarterbacks in a row at the top of the draft, and then the Jets trade up to get Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, listen, is this unrealistic? Is this very wishful thinking? Yeah, it is. But this is Daniel Jeremiah. This isn't like a random, like, weird guy that, like, not reliable making this mock draft. This is Daniel Jeremiah, one of the most, at least if there's anybody in the NFL media that I value the most in terms of NFL draft stuff, it's Daniel Jeremiah, like, for sure. He would not make this if it wasn't at least possible. Is it unrealistic? Is the possibility still low? Absolutely. But this is still something that is interesting that Jets fans maybe need to open their mind up a little bit. Okay? And the Jets trade all the way up to 5. The Chargers get Talisi Fuaga with their 10th overall pick. Man, would this be ridiculous. Now, you wonder, is this worth it? Should the Jets do this? Or should they just stay put at 10 and take either the best playmaker available there, or draft an offensive tackle themselves, or get Brock Bowers, right? I mean, there's a lot of different options that the New York Jets can go here. So this is definitely a very interesting hypothetical scenario that Daniel Jeremiah is bringing up, and I 100% wanted to talk about it with you guys, okay? This is a scenario that is intriguing to me because I didn't even think this is even possible, because I don't know if it's realistic that the Jets can go up from 10 to 5 by just giving up their second-round pick next year. I feel like if you're the Chargers and you're trading back 5 slots, you want a pick this year, right? I don't think that the Chargers are going to want to move back 5 slots just to get an extra pick for next year's draft. Personally, I feel like it'll take a little bit more, but that was the hypothetical trade that Daniel Jeremiah said. And he did say that the Jets and the Chargers are friends in terms of their respective front offices, okay? So definitely not something that I'm holding my breath on. Definitely something I'm not thinking is absolutely happening. But, bro, Daniel Jeremiah comes out with a mock draft on NFL Network, and he has the Jets trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr. We're talking about it on this channel, okay? We're going to be talking about it. We will be talking about it. So that's what we're doing right now. Let me know in the chat right now. I'm going to make a poll, actually. I'm going to make a poll in the chat. Who would be open to this hypothetical scenario of the Jets actually pulling this off? Would you be open to the Jets trading up for Marvin Harrison? All right, put the poll in the chat. Listen, sports friends, we are not getting Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's drop with the delusional conversation and talk about realistic ones. Bro, I'm not making this hypothetical up, so you can't call me delusional. This is Daniel Jeremiah talking, not me. I'm not the one that made this. If I did a mock draft, this is a different story. If I did a mock draft and I had the Jets trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr., you can call me delusional. But this is a objective NFL draft guy who chose chaos and is having fun, and we're reacting to it. Why not? Even if it's unrealistic, we're still going to talk about it because this is an NFL analyst talking about it, bro. Of course we're going to talk about it. We have to explore every single possibility out there. Is it unrealistic? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't. But is it a possibility? It is. It is. So I don't know if this is something that Jets fans are even open up to. 68% says yes so far. This is interesting, man. Jets fans, let me know your thoughts. Not saying you're delusional, Richie. I'm saying let's not entertain delusional takes. All right, Sports Frenzy. I appreciate that for not calling me delusional. You're calling it Daniel Jeremiah. Now, he did say that he chose chaos in this one. So that definitely means he went off the rails and tried to have a little bit more fun. And could he easily did this on purpose to try to spark some debate and spark some fire in fan bases like the Jets and even the Chargers fan base? Because Daniel Jeremiah represents the Chargers fan base, just like Rich Eisen represents the Jets fan base. Like, he's a Chargers guy. So this is an interesting trade if you're a Chargers fan as well. Like, if you're the Chargers, do you want to trade back and then draft Fuaga? Or do you want to get Marvin Harrison Jr. yourself? Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Just join the stream. What do we have to give up to trade up? Well, Charlie, in this hypothetical trade up, the Jets gave up a second-round pick in next year's draft. Why would they make that trade when the Chargers desperately need a wide receiver? So Daniel Jeremiah's reasoning, which we just played, if you want to get his reasoning, just rewind the live stream. I played the clip already. I'm not going to play it again. Is that Harbaugh and his staff prioritize the trenches. And even though they don't have playmakers, they're going to want to get an offensive lineman potentially. So that's the scenario. That's the scenario here. And obviously, I don't think the Jets would do this if they signed Mike Williams, which is a possibility, by the way, still. Mike D's nuts, baby, with that $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Some Jets fans are way too serious out. Isn't this what this time of year is all about? Facts. I mean, we're having fun here. We got like over a month until the NFL draft. This is where we can have fun with these things. Let's not take things seriously and get ridiculously upset with certain situations, okay? Shout out to Mike D, man. I couldn't agree more. This is time for us to have fun as a fan base and entertain all possibilities, even the far-fetched ones. Even the far-fetched ones we're entertaining here. Even the far-fetched ones we're entertaining here. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Mike D. Cannot thank you enough for all the continuous support on the channel. Are you going to the draft? I am not, but I may have some exciting news regarding the draft, potentially. Some personal news. Hold out, though. Don't want to jinx it. We'll see. We'll see. Nikki with a super chat. We are 100% getting Mike Will. We gave him a sandwich. Shout out to NYJ Matt, bro. He literally got a sandwich sent to One Jets Drive. The Jets received the sandwich. The social media team posted it on their social media, and now it's the #1 trending story in the NFL right now. NYJ Matt never changed. Absolutely never changed. Thank you for the $2, Nikki. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, bro. Facts, Richie. We did the hard part. We have our starters on the line. It's time to play around with our flexibility. 100%, man. What the Jets got to do is simple. They need to go into this draft with all the holes filled so they can have the ability to draft the best player available so we're not reaching on a player just for a need. That's when you know a team's not ready to win. If you have a glaring hole in the draft and you draft that position of need instead of the best player available, not looking good. So if I'm the Jets, you sign Mike Williams, you draft another you sign Mike Williams, you sign another defensive lineman, and you sign another offensive lineman, and then you head into the draft with all the positions filled, and then whoever's available at 10, you take the best player available, or if there's someone you love that feel like will make a gigantic difference on this team, you trade up for him. Or you trade back, recoup more assets. There's so many different options. And that's the beautiful thing about the NFL draft, guys. It's officially draft season here on Jets Media. This is so funny. Everyone is going to bananas. Relax, people. Chill. I know. Like, come on now. We're having some fun. What? Have you guys ever heard of the concept of having fun? Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Let's entertain these hypotheticals. So a lot of this hypothetical pick depends where Mike Williams goes. Yeah, maybe he goes back to the Chargers. Then this would make a little bit more sense, right? Such a Richie wide receiver class this year. Still have holes we need to fill. Such a Richie, what? You mean rich? Yeah, it is a rich wide receiver class for sure. Pause. Josh, Mike Williams is a little less injury prone than you think. He's coming off a season-ending injury, but all the years prior to that, he's played double-digit seasons. I don't know. I don't think he's that injury prone. Hoping to sign, yes, I would absolutely love to bring in Mike Williams, 100%. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button on your way into the show. We're live on a Tuesday, March 19th. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We got over 250 people tuning in live on YouTube, around 700 people here on Twitter. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Love you guys as always. Don't forget to smash that like button for your boy as we're live. Mel Kiper has us getting Bowers. Yeah, so Daniel Jeremiah and Mel Kiper are the two draft guys that we should all be tuning into. And Mel Kiper has the Jets going with Brock Bowers. So you see a consistent trend. Playmakers. So I don't know, man. There's so many different avenues, and we all need to be open to every single idea around the NFL, around this thing. We could be trading back. We could be trading up. We can be staying put. I think the only thing we can all agree on is that we should not be drafting a defensive player. That will absolutely drive the Jets fan base insane if we draft a defensive player, which I don't think is going to happen at all. We will draft a defensive player, just not in the first round, right? It's either offensive lineman or a playmaker. That's simple. Offensive lineman or playmaker. That's simple. And there's a lot of different options for this Jets team, man. A lot of different options for this Jets team. And I'm excited to keep entertaining it with you guys. We're not... No, I don't want Dallas Turner. Oh, man, I know you're joking. You just said best player available and to be open to anything. Glazing. What does that even mean, bro? You have to be open to every single scenario. 110%. If there's a player that's sliding a little, say they slide to 5, 6, 7, and the Jets love that player so much, they will be willing to trade up to draft that player. We've seen the Jets do that multiple times. Say they're sitting at number 10. They're on the clock. And they have like 5 guys on the board that they absolutely love. There's no reason why the Jets would not be open to trading back a few slots if a team calls them to recoup more assets and get one of those 5 players. Or you sit at 10 and you draft the best player available. I don't know what glazing, I don't know how that translates to glazing. It's called talking about each and every single scenario, like what Joe Douglas and the entire Jets regime is doing right now. And oh, by the way, every single NFL team is doing it. You guys are all a little too emotional. Relax. We're having some fun. It's draft season. It's all about fun. It's called chaos. It's chaos, baby. Richie with the clickbait title. I thought we were actually getting... What was it, clickbait? Reacting to the Jets trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr. mock draft. I mean, I put mock draft. My intention was not to do I thought you guys saw the mock draft. So this is a trending news that the Jets got Marvin Harrison Jr. in their most recent mock draft. Definitely not trying to clickbait anybody. Dallas Turner would be top 5 in another draft year. You think so? I mean, this draft is rich with wide receivers, and all of a sudden, we're seeing the quarterback position get a little more hype. J.J. McCarthy, his name is soaring. Apparently, he had a long steak dinner with the New York Giants. With the Giants. Can you imagine the Giants drafting J.J. McCarthy? Interesting. JT with a super chat. I appreciate you, bro. As always, JT, if you're GM, you can do whatever you want in regard to trading down or picking your guy. What are you doing? And who are you grabbing at your pick? Yeah. Man, first of all, shout out to JT. This is his 10th super chat on my live show. Your 10th super chat. That's ridiculous, JT. Thank you so much for your kind support, as always. Now, if I'm the GM It really depends who's available at number 10. In a perfect world, I'd like to trade down and get somebody that you still love, get another second-round pick, or get an extra couple assets. That's my ideal scenario for sure. Like, I think there's enough depth in the first round where they can slide back a few slide back a few slots and get like a Brian Thomas or get a Troy Fatanu and then get more assets. That's kind of what I would like. Or, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what I'm more opening up for. Appreciate the super chat. If I was GM, I would trade up for Richie for starting quarterback. Don't sleep on my my quarterback IQ, Josh. Appreciate you. The possibilities are endless, which is why we will be breaking down every single possibility. Every single one on this channel. Rumor out there we are drafting a quarterback later in the draft. Yeah, for sure. Who that quarterback is going to be? Who knows, man? Who knows? You guys have any guesses in the chat? Which quarterback, not who you want, who do you think the Jets are going to get? That big difference. Because I know everyone's going to be like, oh, I want Jordan Travis. I want this guy. I want this guy. Who do you think the Jets will go with? That's the big difference. Jimmy from Seattle, my man, with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Jimmy. Cannot thank you enough, my friend. Very kind of you. I don't know why so many people are so uptight. LOL. If they tell trade up and get a guy on this caliber, this would be insane. If it were me, I'm trading down. Yeah, I prefer to trade down as well. I definitely prefer to trade down as well, Jimmy. I'm right there with you. And relax. Exactly what Jimmy says. Why are people so uptight? We're reacting to a very well-known draft analyst in Daniel Jeremiah coming up with a hypothetical scenario of the Jets trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr. Damn. Can you imagine that? Thank you so much for the $10, Jimmy. Really do appreciate that. Jimmy from Seattle. We got Jimmy tuning in to Jets Media and being a loyal supporter of the New York Jets on the other side of the country. That's loyalty right there. I'm sure we have other people in the chat right now that are from the West Coast. We got other people in the chat that's from probably around the world. We're global, baby. Jets Nation's global. I freaking love that. Thank you, Jimmy. Gators in the chat. What's the drop-off between Marvin Harrison and the next guy? Maybe guy number 2 drops us at number 10. If we sign Mike Williams, do we just go best player available at 10? Cheers, Gator. Thank you, Gator. Appreciate it. Well, there's actually a lot of buzz surrounding Malik Neighbors right now. That some people actually have him above Marvin Harrison Jr. So I feel like the gap between Marvin Harrison and the rest of the wide receivers is a lot smaller than initially anticipated. Because I feel like at the end of the season, at the end of the collegiate year, and when the draft process officially began, it was Marvin Harrison Jr. It was the consensus best wide receiver out of, like, no questions asked. Now, all of a sudden, there's a lot of buzz around Malik Neighbors. There's obviously buzz around Rome Odunze. Chris Sims came out with his top 5 receivers, and he has Harrison at 3 with the 2 LSU guys at the top. Now, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying there's a lot of people out there that don't even look at Marvin Harrison as the number 1. So definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. We got San Francisco in the house. Oklahoma's in the house. Are you kidding me? This is awesome. South Texas in the house. We're all over the place. Oregon Fins fan. Damn. I love that, bro. I love that. What kind of sandwich was sent? It was like, I don't even know. It was like a ham, egg, and cheese. There's some New Jersey sandwich that, like a pork. I don't know. I know there's like a debate about what the sandwich is even called. I'm from New York. I got bacon, egg, and cheese. I don't know. It was Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. So basically ham, egg, and cheese was sent. Taylor pork roll. See, there's a lot of different names for this. Motivational algorithm. Jets don't need to trade up. We're not a team that's a Super Bowl team. We don't know how Rodgers is going to play. Plus, we would have to give up a lot, rather trade down and pick up a second. Yeah, that's my ideal situation as well. But we are aspiring to be a Super Bowl team as much as we want to say we're not. That's what this Jets operation is trying to figure out. Nashville. Henny, you're not from Houston, are you? From Houston, Henny? Oh, you'll be in Texas in 2 days. Okay. I was about to say, Henny, you live in Houston? I was about to be like, what? Let's go. Thoughts on the Texans leak new jerseys? I feel like anybody that gets new jerseys are going to be just bad. I feel like everybody's just not going to like them. The Jets new jerseys are going to be fresh. Why? Because they're throwbacks. I don't know. I don't really look at the Texans uniforms and I'm like, whoa, those are sick, bro. I'm not. I ain't doing that. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your way into the show. Let's get it going, folks. We're reacting to the Jets trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr. We're going to take some of your calls, get some Jets fans in the chat coming on the live show to break down your initial thoughts of this news. We appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. I'm excited. Do you guys think Mike Williams actually ate the sandwich, though? That's my question. Did the Jets hand him the sandwich and like, this was sent from a Jets fan for you? Or did one of the, like, Jets admins eat it? Like, who ate that sandwich? I got to know the details. Who ate the sandwich? Who ate it? Richie, where's Jack been lately? Jack, where are you? Well, I'll definitely let Jack know that he's being asked to come on. Jack has been busy with his own stuff. He will be back. Don't worry. Jack is a musician, as you all know. He's a very talented musician. He's very busy gigging all the time and, working on his own original music and stuff like that. Right now, he's actually in the city with his girlfriend. But definitely expected to have Jack more on here more often. Especially if you guys want him back, that'll entice him to come back even more. Because I'll be like, hey, yo, Jack, the chat is asking for you. The chat is asking for you, which means you got to come through. You got to come through. Now, you guys saw the mock draft here on Daniel Jeremiah. If you guys want to check out the link for yourself to get the full mock draft, that's linked in the description of the video, guys. But look at this hypothetical, bro. 4 quarterbacks and then Marvin Harrison Jr. And the reason why I wanted to show you guys that is because if you go on to BetUS's website, the proud sportsbook sponsor of Jets Media, they have really interesting NFL draft props. Now, we've broke these down before, but I feel like they're getting a little bit more interesting with all these different mock drafts. Now, you can draft on who's going number 1, who's the first quarterback, and Caleb Williams is like ridiculously the heavy favorite. I think that's a lock. But Marvin Harrison Jr. being the first non-quarterback selected is at minus 650. And there's some buzz around Malik Neighbors, who's at a plus 550, which I find extremely interesting. Now, who's going second overall? Do you guys think it's going to be Jaden Daniels? Who's the favorite? Drake May? Like, there's a lot of different hypothetical scenarios. And my favorite draft prop bet that they have here on BetUS is Mr. Irrelevant's draft position. Because the Jets own this draft pick. Let me know in the chat right now, guys, which one of these bets do you think you'd feel comfortable sprinkling some cash on? Because this is interesting. We got the Jets own this draft pick, and if you could predict what position they're going, I mean, the value of this draft of these odds are fantastic. Like, what if the Jets go running back at plus 900? Right? The Jets go running back at plus 900. I feel like there's so many fun different hypotheticals. Or they go corner. I can see them going safety, honestly. We need a little safety. I mean, you put $100 down on the Jets to go safety with the last pick, you win $1,000. So a lot of interesting bets here on this particular draft. They have other parlays as well. A lot of future bets. Who's winning Offensive Player of the Year? All that great stuff here on BetUS Sportsbook, the official sportsbook sponsor of Jets Media. Receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,500, folks. Link in the description of the video.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
where the game begins. Shout out to BetUS. Also excited to be on BetUS TV in an hour. The Huddle, which will be live at 3 p.m. today. Join me, TD Finstock, and Dan Mitchell. If you guys tuned into yesterday's episode, TD Finstock gave the Jets some love that I never heard him say. So we talked about the Jets free agency, and TD Finstock, who is known to be a Jets hater, actually had some kind words for the Jets. So definitely go check out yesterday's episode if you missed it. And then today's episode will be live at 3 o'clock, just like it is every single day, Monday through Friday. So you guys can check us out right here on The Huddle, baby. Let's freaking go. Your boy is having a ball on this show. My first ever official, like, it feels like a real show. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it feels like an actual, like, I don't know how to put it into words, but it's a lot of fun. We're in like week 5 of this thing. So definitely go check it out. Post free agency mock draft. Talk about everything related to the NFL free agency all across the league, baby. All across the league. And my goal is to get as many Jets fans in that chat, because there's a lot. There's a lot of non-Jets fans in that chat. Deuce! Mr. Irrelevant's going to be a linebacker. Well, what's the odds for that? Linebacker odds are plus 800 on BetUS Max. Interesting. Well, guys, we are opening up for a quick call-in stretch at the end of the show. Click that link at the top of the chat if you want to give your kind words, or your quick words, rather, of this hypothetical mock draft of the Jets trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr., or any other questions or concerns you guys have regarding the New York Football Jets, baby. All right. Let's get into the first caller. Mr. Charles Gorman is first.
Hey, Richie, I tried to get into your show yesterday, but I couldn't because the wait was too long and I was at work. So how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. The wait at yesterday's show was long. It was one of the longest waits we've had on the call-in shows. It was exciting. Sorry we couldn't get you. Excited to have you on now, though.
No problem. How's your family holding up first before I get into this mock trade?
Family's great. Friends are great. How about yourself, Charles?
Good. I'm doing good. Hanging in there. I'm with my brother right now. We're at an Italian restaurant / pizzeria called Joey D's.
Joey D's, baby. Well, I appreciate you tuning in from the pizzeria.
Thank you. As for my thoughts on Daniel Jeremiah's mock trade, it's very interesting. But at the same time, I will have to agree with some Jets fans. The risk is too high. But I do understand why I can see why the Jets would fall in love with Marvin Harrison Jr. Because after all, not only is he the son of Colts legend and Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison, he's a very good receiver himself. He's very special. He runs great routes. He's got great hands. He has pretty good speed. He's a complete package. And I think he played a couple of years with Garrett Wilson, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. Yes, he did. They'd be reunited.
Obviously, we couldn't get Jackson Smith the jig, but maybe Joe Douglas would be like, if I get Marvin Harrison Jr., maybe Jets fans will forgive me from drafting Will McDonald, who I think is going to be a good player. I think he's going to be a good player this year. I really think so. Because last year he didn't get – I know he only had like 3 sacks, but let's not forget he wasn't a starter. The starters were Bryce Huff and Jermaine Johnson and John Franklin Myers. So, but when Will McDonald came in there, he made some impactful plays. He was good against the run. He interrupted one of the Giants field goal kickers from kicking a field goal. And he had a few sacks, so that's good. So I think he'll have more playing time this year. I think he'll be a good player. Maybe he can get at least double-digit sacks. Let's see what the hell happens. But as for the mock draft, let's see what happens, man. I'm open to it, but it depends on how much we have to give up to get Marvin Harrison Jr.
I agree. Charles, thank you so much for the call. Go enjoy your pizza with your brother. Hope you have a great rest of your day. The great Charles Gorman. Let's get a round of applause for Charles. Round of applause for Mr. Charles Gorman. Great call as always. Will McDonald is going to be a good player this year, and Jets fans will remember I said that, baby. They'll remember what I said about Will McDonald. This is his season. Breakout season on the way, baby. You know it. And listen, there's a lot of different hypotheticals that we're talking about regarding Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm noticing my soundboard doesn't work on StreamYard, which is sad. So you guys cannot hear this. Ready? You guys didn't hear that round of applause? I just played it again. Well, that sucks. Whatever. Let's get to the next caller. Get it. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Connor. He's up next to talk about the New York Jets. What's up, man?
Richie, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, buddy?
I'm doing well. I really like this mock draft from Jeremiah. If it required, obviously pick 10 and then next year's too, to trade up at 5 picks and go get Harrison, sign me up. But I do think he's gonna go 4. I do think Harrison is gonna go to 4. I would also trade up for Odunze. I'd trade up for both those guys. I think both them are really solid. I know a lot of hypes around Malik Neighbors. I think Neighbors is very solid, but I wouldn't trade up for Neighbors.
So he's your third receiver.
Yeah, I'd probably Harrison 1, Odunze 2, Neighbors 3. I'd also, like I said yesterday, trade back Adonai Mitchell, Brian Thomas Jr., and then obviously Bowers is an option. I'm just not too big on a tight end at pick 10 overall. Like I like Travis Kelce was a 3rd-round pick, and there wasn't a tight end in the 1st round. I don't think last year it was like Laporta and Kincaid were like arguing for like best tight end in the class. I think Bowers is very, very, very solid, but I don't think he'd fit well with the Jets, especially as a top 10 pick. I take that back. I think he'd fit well. I just don't think he has the value of a top 10 pick with this team. We have so many holes to fill. Personally, I'd rather go for Shanu at 10 other than just Bowers.
Well, Connor, you're a man of the people. You have a very wise head on your shoulders because most fans would want the flashy toys, right? But you're thinking the long term. You're thinking the true philosophy of how to build a football team, and that's in the trenches. Jimmy from Seattle thinks you have a great call. We have a lot of people agreeing with you. Keep up the great work, Connor. We appreciate the call as always.
Thank you.
And hey, maybe you're right. Come draft time, we shall see.
I hope Dunze. Realistically, Odunze is my number 1 option. Realistically, and I trade up 1 pick and go get 1 to 2 picks and go get Odunze 100% all day.
If the Jets draft Rome Odunze, the first person I'm thinking of is you, Connor. How about that?
Thank you.
Because I'm sure reaction's going to be crazy. So we got weeks and weeks and weeks to keep reacting to mock drafts, and we'll see where it all shapes out. Thank you for the call, Connor. Appreciate you, buddy. Everybody go check out Connor's YouTube channel, baby. He's doing a great job. He probably knows more about the game of football and the Jets than me, feels like. He's doing a great job over there. Oh, man. Shout out to Connor. Let's go, baby. There's a lot of different reports and speculation and just like buzz around this wide receiver class. I find it fascinating, honestly, that there's people that have Malik Neighbors as their number 1. There's people who have Brian Thomas up there at the top with Malik Neighbors. There's people that have Rome Odunze at the top. I mean, this is a loaded wide receiver class. And the Jets right now are in a position to land one of them, for sure. The question is, will they go wide receiver or will they stay in the trenches and build this offensive line for the long run? Because as of right now, we have our starting 5 at the offensive line position, but the injury risk is still there. Let's get to more callers. Folks, don't forget to hit the like button on your way into the show. We appreciate you guys. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Next up, what's up, bro? You're live.
Hey, what's going on, Richie? How are you?
Good to see you, man.
Two comments, one on the Jeremiah chat and then one on pick 10. First of all, I could tell that Jeremiah is messing with every Jet fan with this trade. There is no chance in the world the Chargers would make that deal. None.
He chose
0.
chaos. That was his words for his mock draft.
Absolutely. If they're trading out of 5 to go to 10, they're going to.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him? You're frozen. Uh-oh. Alan! We lost him. He froze on us. He froze. He thinks the Daniel Jeremiah trade is nonsense. We lost him. How sad. Maybe he'll come back. I mean, listen, I agree with him. I don't really think this is possible. I don't really think it's, realistic. But, hey, fun to talk about, right? Next up, we got Scott. What's good, Scott? How you doing, bro?
What's up, Richie? I'm doing well, man. I'm fired up about this, dude. This came to my mind about like a week ago. I saw guys that we respect that watched the film, like Blew It, like Dom C. They've said there are two guys in here that are worth trading up, and that's Marvin Harrison, that's Neighbors. These are true blue chip prospects, man. Even forget Harrison, dude. Neighbors, I've heard many people say he's the best prospect coming out as a receiver since Jamar Chase. Okay, so they're two blue chip prospects that we could get on the outside possibly. Dude, I'm making a Godfather offer to 4 to 5. I'm going to go get one of these guys because you know what? I want to win a Super Bowl, dude. I want to fucking win a Super Bowl. The cards are always stacked against us. It's time we turn around and stack the decks against the NFL. Okay? Woo! We got Sauce. We got Quinnen. We got the number one defense in the NFL. We got Rodgers. We have an O-line now, dude. We have Garrett. Go get that weapon that's going to put you over the top to win a Super Bowl. Okay? I'm putting a Godfather offer. I'm going to go get one of these guys, and nobody's going to stop us. We're going to shut teams down under 20 points every week. We're going to be putting up 30+. This is the move that could really do it. I don't care what it is. Go make that move, Joe D. Love you. Go Jets.
Scott, what a freaking call. I want to run through a wall right now. That guy just completely elevated the energy of myself, and it should... You guys feel that? Did you guys just feel that energy that Scott just came in here? He is given a Godfather level offer to get the blue chip guy in the NFL draft. He wants the Jets to trade up for Marvin Harrison Jr. He probably saw this mock draft from Daniel Jeremiah, was like, yes, sir. That's what I want the Jets to do. He probably also wants, he said, Malik Neighbors, he wants the Jets to trade up. Okay, Scott. I hear you, bro. I hear you. I can't complain, bro. That energy was just through the roof. Mike D with another super chat. Lots thought JJ was a bust after year one. McDonald could bulk up and take a big step like JJ. Gotta let players develop. Yeah, I mean, listen. If you call Will McDonald a bust after one season, come on. At least have him have a year two before you call him a bust. Can you argue it was the wrong pick at the time? Yes, you could say that. But at the same time, bro, for people to say he's a bust, I think personally is way too premature. You got to let the guy get an opportunity and see what he can do with it. And I'll say this last thing about Will McDonald. If there's one position group that you should have confidence in how the New York Jets handle the development of their players, it's the defensive line. You saw the development of Bryce Huff. Absolutely sensational. As an undrafted free agent, by the way. Jermaine Johnson's development has been sensational. Quinnen Williams, let's not forget, he wasn't drafted with this regime, but he was able to break out and become the dominant all-pro force that he is inside because of the Jets coaching staff. So why wouldn't Will McDonald, with all that freakishly athleticism, the length that he has, be able to break out and be a big-time impact for this Jets defense next year? I think it's possible. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. But I think it's going to happen. All right, we got one last caller. He's back. Don't freeze on me this time.
Oh, my God. I don't know what the hell's going on here in Carolina. I'm sorry, man.
It's all good.
Enough with the Jeremiah talk. The question I have is on pick 10. As much as people want to get a receiver and as much as this team needs a wide receiver too, I look at the roster and I look at the guys that we picked up this offseason, and I think it's still imperative for them to pick up a tackle in the first round. Mm-hmm. So the trade I would make, especially with Cincinnati signing Trent Brown a couple of minutes ago, is I look at that roster and I say, what completes Cincinnati's roster is to get Brock Bowers. So if I'm Cincinnati, I'd come up to the Jets at 10. And if I was the Jets, I'd go get 18 and 49. I'd take Amarius Mims at 18, and I'd pick up either Roman Wilson or Ricky Pearsall at 49. For me, the idea of getting both the tackle and the wide receiver is imperative. As much as I think the Jets need a wide receiver, the idea of trading up for a wide receiver with us relying on two 30-plus-year-old tackles just does not make sense. Again, the only tackle I would stay at 10 for would be Alt. Anybody else, I would trade back maybe to 13 or 14. But I look at Cincinnati and I see Brock Bowers as a guy who could complete that offense, and I think they'd go after him. That's what I'm thinking.
Excellent call, man. I'm happy that you're able to come back and get your second take outside of the Jeremiah trade. I appreciate you, man. Hope you have a
Thanks,
good rest
Father.
of your day, brother. Listen, I mean, he brings up a good point. You look at this offensive line, and it looks good on paper, but there's a risk there. What was the biggest issue with the offensive line last year? It wasn't just the lack of talent. It was more the lack of depth. I mean, the Jets were injured all across, and unfortunately, we have a left tackle who we brought in who is injury prone. So I feel like the Jets 100% need to consider getting an offensive lineman. And if the Bengals call and you slide all the way down to 18, and you can recoup their second round pick, and then you can double dip and get your tackle and your wide receiver, that is really filling out this roster. That's filling it out. So I agree. I think that's a good take. I agree with that take. That's the thing here. There's so many different opportunities, right? It's funny because the caller before him, Scott, was like, trade up for your blue chip wide receiver, which is still on a crazy, awesome scenario. And on the other side of things, you could trade back and get your offensive tackle. So, and wide receiver in the second round. Because if I'm in the Jets green room, I feel like the New York Jets are really going to try to get that second round pick back. I think it's probably really bothering Joe Douglas right now that he does not have a second round pick. He's probably pissed. Probably pissed he doesn't have a second round pick. He probably wants that second round pick, bro. He wants that second round pick. If I was to bet what's going to happen, I think a trade down is the most likely scenario. All right, folks, let's get into the final caller of the show. Okie Smoke
man.
Jet. How you doing, bro?
What's up, brother? Hey, man, I've just been thinking about Jackson Powers Johnson, looking at how we've built this offensive line up. It's just been maulers. It's been, space cloggers, people that can move, get out and move. You grab him, probably trade down. But I don't know. He's moving up the boards. But if we could move down, to 15 or whatever and still get a second or early third. But you grab him, ABT can move to tackle. It opens everything up. But, I mean, he fits the offense of what we're building now. If it's a gap system, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. I mean, if we traded up for the receiver, any of the top three, I'm good with. And if we could stay there or move down to.
So in that scenario, I just want to ask who's not playing. So he's the center, I'm assuming. Joe Tippmann slides the right guard. AVT goes to tackle,
it
but
seems
we
like
have two
we
tackles.
certainly like sorry to cut you off there. We like the depth. We like having that competition in there. AVT's not been healthy for 2 years in a row now. He's only played 7 games or whatever. Simpson, I think this guy would be an upgrade over Simpson. He's good, but he's just now coming up, he might just be a move around guy. He's good, but compared to Jackson Powers Johnson, I think that guy would be an absolute,
Yeah.
No.
Move. I absolutely love the hypothetical. I just got to ask you one question. What jersey are you wearing? Who's on the back of that jersey?
It's Reagan. I'm not going to buy another. It's my.
No, I thought it was Will McDonald for a second. I was like, you got a Will McDonald jersey?
I'm just not gonna do that. Have a Sanchez around for another 16 years.
Hey, bro, that's the best thing you could do.
Sanchez jersey, and it's just like.
Hey, that's the best thing you could do. Trust me, from experience, I have way too many jerseys that I wish I didn't have anymore. Well, I appreciate the call, big time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, bro.
Yeah, maybe Tyler Guyton, Oklahoma Sooner. We haven't had one in a while, but
there we go.
Man. Have a good one.
Absolutely, bro. Great call. Listen, they could trade back. That's an interesting hypothetical. Me personally, I just love Joe Tippmann so much at center where, like, I'm not looking to get another center. That's kind of the only thing that I'll say about that. Like, I think JPJ is a great prospect, and I think he fits exactly what the Jets are trying to do. But we drafted a center last year in the second round, and yes, Joe Tippmann has shown promise at the right guard spot. But if I'm the Jets, I am not prioritizing getting a center in the first round. We have our center. His name's Joe Tippmann. I don't want to move him around. I want him to be the guy under center for this season, for the next decade plus, man. For sure. Brian with the $10. Thank you so much, my friend. So, would you prefer trade up for pick 5 and give up next year's second round pick, or trade down to 16 spot and get a second round pick this year? Now, this is an interesting conversation. Because I'm not going to lie to you guys, the idea of adding Marvin Harrison Jr. to this offense with Garrett Wilson is spicy. It's intriguing. It is extremely, extremely enticing. Oh, this is so tough. Because I think both scenarios would be good scenarios, by the way, Brian. I think trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr., is there a risk involved? Yes. You're lacking some depth. You're sacrificing a pick in next year's draft. You're not getting an offensive tackle or an offensive lineman to really fill out the depth of the offensive line, which is extremely important. But what Marvin Harrison Jr. would bring to this offense with Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, that is right away arguably the best wide receiver duo in terms of youth in the NFL. One of them, not the best, but potential to be one of the best. If Marvin Harrison Jr. lives up to the hype and Garrett Wilson takes another step with an actual quarterback, dude. So, I don't know, man. Let me know in the chat. Which way would you guys lean in Brian's hypothetical? Trading back, getting a second-round pick this year, or sacrificing your second-round pick next year to move up? Thank you for the $10. Oh, my gosh. King Cat. King Cat's back. A Fitty Burger. You're too kind, King Cat. Are you kidding me? I wish there were words to describe how much this means to me, bro. I really, really cannot thank you enough for the super chat. Trade up for neighbors or trade back, get an additional second or third, draft Brian Thomas in the first round, and take tackle in second round. Late first round offensive tackle and second round offensive tackle are all about the same. Grab elite wide receiver in the first round, please. Go Jets. What a amazing, there's a lot of thought that went into this comment by King Cat because I love it. Trading up for neighbors is on his wish list, or you trade back, get a second or third, and when you trade back, you get Brian Thomas in the first round, and then you get that tackle in the second round with that pick that we got in the trade. Late first and second round tackle are about the same. Yeah, I mean, I'm in. You convinced me, King Cat. Thank you for the $50 super chat, bro. I really cannot tell you how much this means to my channel and to the brand here of what we're doing here on Jets Media. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so freaking much, Ben. I cannot thank you enough. Everybody get some dono hype in the chat for my man King Cat. He has been a extremely, extremely generous super chat and super generous just supporter of the channel, man. Thank you so much, brother. Hope you're doing well, man. Great to see you. Thank you to all the super chats, man. We have 8 super chats in today's show. Thank you guys for all the donations. It goes to a good cause, which is just simply reinvesting into the content that you guys see. That's what it's doing, baby. That's all it's doing. Folks, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. We have over 260 people live watchers. Let's get to 200 likes, and let's hit the subscribe button for your boy. If you are not subscribed to the channel already, quick little reminder, your boy will be live here on The Huddle in 37 minutes. So definitely go check out The Huddle today. It's been a lot of fun. We have a lot of live watchers, and the chat gets crazy, bro. The chat gets crazy on The Huddle. I just put the link in the chat if you guys want to go check that out. It's live at 3 o'clock. If you guys are not aware of what it is, I'm sure some of you guys are aware of it, and you're sick and tired of me reminding the people, but there are some people I'm sure that don't know about The Huddle, so I just want to remind them about what it is all about. It's me, Dan Mitchell, and TD Finstock talking all things NFL, and the live chat gets spicy, bro, because it's NFL talk. It's not just Jets talk. It's everything. And there's fan bases from every single team representing in the chat, and it's a lot of fun. So definitely go check that out, guys. 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Keith with a super chat. All right, this is the last super chat of the show because I got to wrap things up because I got to eat lunch before the show. Keith, thank you so much. Trade up this year's third, next year's second. We get the swap and a second this year. Who says no? Trade up this year's third, next year's second. We get the swap and a second this year. Another interesting hypothetical. Trade up this year's third and next year. I like this, Keith. I absolutely like this, Keith. Absolutely. $5 super chat. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat, Keith. Great supporter of Jets Media and Knicks Media, by the way. I just want to say this to you real quick, Mr. J. Stone. And I'm just being transparent with you, bro. If you're going to hold on to me ending my stream against the Dolphins, just know that that's the only time I've ever ended a stream early. And just know this. It was for a reason outside of my channel, outside of football. Something bigger was happening in my life at the time, which led me to end the stream early and go be with my family. That's all I'm going to say. Just being straight up with you. I would never end a stream if it wasn't for something that was going on in my personal life. So the more you keep bringing this up, it's just not right. Because obviously you don't know what's going on or what happened in my life at that time. So you're not aware of it. So you think I just ended the stream because we were losing and I didn't want to be live. Not the case, bro. Was not the case. Every single time the Jets get their asses beat, I'm there till the end. But that specific game, there was different, bro. It was different. That's all I'm going to say. Just wanted to educate you on that because I'm sure you're not aware of it. But that's all I'm going to say. And the last time I'll bring it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Jets Media Live show. I'll see you on the huddle. I'll see you on the huddle in 30 or so minutes, baby. I'll catch you guys there. I put the link in the chat. BetUS TV, the huddle. I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love as always. Salute to the chat. Later.